U18 Championships, and it is the final game of the day. Central Allies up against Queensland, the home side. And Queensland, well, they've had a difficult championships so far. They have been defeated a couple of times by WA in round one. Went down to Vic Country in day one and went down to Vic Metro on day two. For the Central Allies, they popped up with a win over the Eastern Allies on day one, and they got beaten by Western Australia on day two. Michael Price and Matthew Cox calling all of your action. Matty will get us started now.
And as will Hampson for Queensland, dominant this week for them. Her kick towards half forward wasn't great, although getting caught and dispossessed there, Madison Newman, who's also had a great week. Gregory ends up with the free kick, running off half back. Smith came a long way to retrieve that footy. Swatted out of the hands of Watson. Frenetic pace in the early stages of this game. Tab over it. Has she held it in? No, the umpire gives her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, well done by young Chloe Gregory. She was very good against Vic Metro and against Vic Country. Tapped down. There was Dawes with a push in the back. No, Tab on top of her. And once again, umpire's just going to say, we'll ball it up. It's at left half forward for the Queenslanders. They're attacking the left of screen. The breeze looks like it's actually swirled and turned around and is now facing or favouring the right of screen. It's been favouring the left of screen all day. But it goes over the boundary line. Last touch was against the Central Allies, so it's going to be Bella Dawes. Chips it over the heads of the leading players. Queensland have got a chance here. Comes back out. Now it's with Wap Farah. Well done there by Miskin Ripia, who just got herself in the right position. Farquharson's trying to push her off the ball. Miskin Ripia did beautifully, though. It's a dangerous kick, but she's got it out in front of Tab. She bends over and picks it up nicely. Great shepherd as well. Gave her some extra time. Attacking the ball but missing it out was Martin. Well done there by Heslop to break the tackle. Then got her foot to the ball. Tab's going to make it first there for Central Allies, but she's taken the ball over the boundary line right in front of us here in the commentary box, and we'll get a throw in.
That shepherd was from Munyard on Hampson, who look like they're lining up on one another at the moment. A couple of the great contenders from both of these sides. Queensland desperate for a victory after a poor 2019 AFLW Under-18 Championship Series. Postlethwaite gives it to Hampson, tried to do the fend off, got the handball to Hickey. High ball inside 50 here for the Queenslanders. Juggling attempt not completed from Watson. Central Allies happy to hold it up. Zenka Close, one of those laying the tackle on Amber Ward. We get a ball up in the heart of attacking 50.
We talked about the ruck contest in the last game, but I love this one between McKinnon and also Hickey. It's going to be a ripper.
Hickey tried to grab it out there. That was Levy that was in there. Levi. McKinnon. Ball bobbling around. Queensland. Desperate early. Geez, there's been a few hard knocks early as well. Miskin Ripia unable to do much with it. They'll emerge with it here, the Central Allies. Charlton takes a couple of bounces. Gregory hot on her hammer. Got shepherded off the footy. High ball towards the centre wing, just losing her feet there. Heslop creates an opportunity here for the Central Allies. Breed sends it down the line. Dribbles over it. It'll be a last touch out of bounds rule the way of Queensland. And to take that kick on the half-back flank broadcast side will be O'Grady.
Originally from North Cairns and plays here at Bond Uni now. Big kick. Hickey flew very high, roving. Tap, couldn't quite pick it up. It's well done there by Darcy. Dribbles it down the line, just came on the field. It's brilliantly timed. Well done by Bella Clark. Kicks it to half forward. Here's a chance for Centrals. Towed off the ground by Hine. Queensland player taken down. It's well hacked out of there by Tani White. They're going to come out of here. They're going to have a chance now. O'Grady again, just chipping it forward. Finds Taylor Smith. She's on the left foot. Semi-smothered. Centrals with the ball now. Morris gives it to McKinnon. She gives it back in. It's taken by Postlethwaite, taken by Tab. Actually, it wasn't Postlethwaite underneath there. It was Heslop. Been involved with a couple of heavy contests so far.
As Hampson's also come to the bench, a little worse for wear at the moment. Queensland trying to use it off half-back. Moore. Kick into the middle will be intercepted by Morris. It was in turn intercepted by Awang, who kept going. Keeps paddling the ball in front of herself. Has to retreat a little bit to Wap Farah. Got around Freeman. Gave the handball quickly off to Hammonds. Centre wing out of side for Queensland. Long ball inside 50. Juggling marking attempt not completed by Clark. Had Miskin Rippier by her side, who was caught by Farquharson on the half-forward flank. So Queensland reload and get it. Will the mark be paid from back position with Zanka close? The mark will be paid to the player in the front, which was Morris.
Tamsin Morris from Glenelg puts herself under pressure there. Got the handball away. Farquharson puts herself in for Queensland. Tries to cut it off. Now it's turned over. Watson hooks it around and hits the post. One behind. First score of the game goes to Queensland. It's a behind, and we've got 9 minutes left of the first quarter here at Bond University. Just a quick stat. Queensland have got 9 Bond University players in their squad, so they must enjoy a home ground advantage here.
Yep, they'll be happy with that. McKinnon on half forward had a couple to beat. And then arriving to give support there was Lee. Puts it towards the half forward region for the Central Allies. Williams doing her best attempt to pressure the footy. Still hunting it. She'll collect it here as Williams will run. Does she keep it in front of herself? She does, and she puts it through for the first. Stephanie Williams popped the handball in front of herself. Collected it again and then put it through from about 20 metres out.
Yeah, brilliantly done. She's got some toe, hasn't she? The girl from the Darwin Buffaloes we've seen. And she's a bottom age player as well, born in 02. And fairly diminutive in size, 162 centimetres. But the pace that she shows when she's got a chance, well, it was on exhibit there, first goal of the game. So 5 points the margin. Central Allies, 1 straight goal to Queensland, 1 behind. Looking forward to seeing what the breeze does very soon, because it was going to the left of screen all day, and start of this game it's going to the right of screen.
I think Queensland have just been given a warning too for the 6x6 rule.
So Williams again puts herself in, gets the handball across, looking for Ballard. She's still doing well, but Queensland now, they'll come away with the ball. This is a little bit better. Down the corridor, kick looking for Gregory, the smallest target inside 50. But she provided a good contest. Well done in there. Queensland doing very well. Here's Munyard. Can she control it? It was actually comes out for Ma. She does. Out wide now, Freeman. She's got a little bit of space. Taps it to herself. Gathers. Tackled though. Couple of Queenslanders on her, and she's holding the ball. Did beautifully to start with, and then just got confronted either side.
Free kick goes the way of Martin. Gave it off to Postlethwaite. Delivers it inboard. No mark taken. Hampson back on the ground. Pop the handball into danger. Has to apply the tackle in the end as Hampson. Charlton the one caught for the Central Allies. This is a much more free-flowing game compared to the one that we got between Vic Country and WA. Players trying to use as much space as they possibly can. Handball the way here of Smith. Comes inboard. Dawes. Kicks it towards half forward. Into the hands now of Bradfield. Uses the space well inside 50. Miskin Rippier got punched out of her hands. Takes it cleanly. Wax boot to ball. And we'll get it to McKinnon. Defensive side of the outer wing for the Central Allies. She pops it over the top. Was searching for Freeman. Bounces wide of her. And last touch out of bounds will go the way of Queensland on the centre wing out of side. It's Tani White with the ball in her hands.
So White finds Postlethwaite down the line in front of the grandstand on the outer side. Hampson with the lateral kick, and she's got the room to go. Has a bounce, gets onto the left foot, kicks it long. Farquharson at the back, Miskin Rippier at the front. Farquharson did well to bring the ball to ground. Handball goes out wide. Ella, she'll pick it up. hook it back into the pocket, and it was beautifully cut off there by Newman. Just got in the way there. Very good against WA as well throughout this tournament, and now she's got a kick in the back line.
It's been a great game of footy in the opening 10 minutes. Bouncing ball, Williams tracking it, so too Freeman. Gives the handball off. They've got movement on this broadcast side. Healy, long ball inside, attacking 50. Awang under pressure, just keeps paddling the ball in front of herself. Will she run out of room? She was happy to keep it in play, but coughed it up. Smith, centering ball for the Central Allies. Will dribble over the line and out of play just beside the behind post on the right-hand side.
Just saw the some of the players will be very, very tired, especially the midfielders from this couple of teams. We saw at Southport on Wednesday, extremely boggy conditions, and they really had to battle it out hard. So the girls really showing some courage to just keep going after those couple of days of hard, damp footy. Here's Williams again. Puts on the afterburners, hooks it around. What's she done? Touched off the boot. And it's going to go over the boundary line. So we'll have another throw in. Just in the right forward pocket. Central Allies leading by 5 points.
She's been prominent early, Williams. On a fast track. Tab one down by Queensland. It's all locked in. And the umpire says we're going nowhere. Ball it up. So just under 4 minutes remaining in the opening term. 5 point advantage to the Central Allies. Caught here, Daisy Darcy. And we'll reset again. Another stoppage inside 50 for the Central Allies. McKinnon palmed it down. Ball squeezed out. Darcy chasing it, Tab tackling. Wat Farah over her head. Central Allies just use it by hand to try and get it back inside, attacking 50. Hampson navigating traffic. Gets the 1-2. Pops it over the top. Was searching there for more. She runs out of room. The umpire says, I'll throw it in.
So about 3 minutes left of the first term. No, it was a free kick. It must have been just outside the 50 arc, mate. So Central Allies to bring the ball back in. This was a good pass too. It's Hartaluni on the left. Just chips a pass. That was a beautiful kick to Matea Breed. And really, it was poor marking by the Queenslanders there. She was there for quite some time, Breed, and now she's going to have an opportunity to kick a goal. The second for Central Allies. Comes in from about 30 metres, gets close to the mark, but not a problem. Straight through the middle, and Central Allies have got their second goal. 2 straight 12 to 1 behind to the Queenslanders. And there's only 2 minutes 20 left of this first term at Bond University.
Smart, composed footy there, and as you said, it was a little awkward there for Queensland, not marking their opponents up, and provided that opportunity for Breed to kick the goal. Geez, it was a great kick too. Good drop punt. Breeze behind her back too. They switch between matches, favouring the right-hand side of your screen. And looks fairly blowy out there too, looking at the flagpole directly opposite us. Yeah,
well, we are on the Gold Coast, so it is the home of many beaches and whatnot, so you will get the swirling breeze every now and again.
As Wat Farah's caught, Tab tracking it, got bumped off the footy. Williams is hovering. Ball's going to be locked in. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. Final match of a big week of footy here on the Gold Coast for the 2019 NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships. Queensland searching for their first win. They go forward. Good mark taken here by Ella. And we'll get a 50-metre penalty for a player encroaching the mark.
Well, that's what Queensland need, is they need to get the score on the board and give the girls some confidence as well. They've been down on a little bit of confidence in that first game on Monday. Came back really hard against Vic Metro and did well, but this one you'd hope would give them a bit of a fillip going in for the rest of this game.
Just a slight angle, about 25 metres out. She comes in, Ella, for Queensland, searching for their first major. She dobs it through. Queensland on the board with 30 seconds remaining in the opening term. 117 plays 2 straight 12. Central Allies with the advantage as we head towards quarter time.
Yeah, well done by Georgia Ella there. Fortunate to get the 50-metre penalty for the encroachment of the area, but that's the goal that they needed, especially, again, with it feels like this breeze has really picked up and gone to the right as well, so it's done a U-turn and then some. But the Central Allies have dominated the, I would say, most of this quarter, and they've only got the 5-point lead. There you go. That 5-point lead stretches into quarter time. So the one goal there for Georgia Ella for Queensland. For Central Allies, it's Williams and Breed with their 2 straight goals.
Hitouts, looking at the stats, are even, 7 apiece. Clearances 7-2 in favour of Queensland. So they're getting first use of the ball around the stoppage. Going inside 50, they're also there, 9-4. So it seems to suggest that Queensland have had most of the footy, but the Central Allies just more effective with it, and that's again the same for the stats, 49-32 in favour of Queensland. Yet the Central Allies lead on the scoreboard, 2 straight 12 to 117.
It's a tale of taking your chances, isn't it? 2 straight to 117. We'll be back with the second quarter very shortly. This is the NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships. Welcome back to Bond University. It is the home of the final day of the NAB AFLW U18 Championships, the 10th year of the championships, and what a magnificent job that everybody has done this week on the Gold Coast for round two. We're right in the middle of this game, Central Allies versus Queensland, the final game of the day, and Central Allies 2 straight 12 lead Queensland by 5 points, 1-1-7. It's Michael Price and Matthew Cox calling all of your action. Matty, really tight game, really nothing in it so far.
No, very even contest. Great way to finish off the championships. Central Allies won on Monday, lost on Wednesday. Searching for another victory this afternoon. Queensland searching for their first one in the entire championships after going down to WA twice in round one. As the Central Allies take the mark here, Newman on half-back was given the hurry-up just as she got the possession away. Usher went past it. Daisy Darcy's caught by Charlton. Queensland end up with it? No. Charlton did enough to get the reward. Centre wing on the outer side. She pops it, was searching for Munyard, will dribble over the line and out of bounds, and the last disposal rule coming into effect. Daisy Darcy to take the free kick for Queensland.
I love that signal too, the lasso signal. It just adds something to the game, methinks. Daisy Darcy chips it forward. Big contest at the foot of the pack. It was beautifully handballed over by White, who gave it back to Hampson. Now it's a long kick towards half forward. Centrals have got this covered. They've got the numbers. Can they control the pill? That's the main thing. Good tackle there from Zanka. Close, brought them down. Now it falls to Watson. She hooks it inside, attacking 50 for the Queenslanders. Lot of pressure on Freeman from the Central Allies, but showed the pace. Gave it to Miskin-Ripia, who's tackled off the ball. Magnificent tackle there. That was Anise Bradfield, was it? Yes, it was. That was a great tackle. Miskin-Ripia's got some toe, and that's the kind of thing that can lift your side. So Anise Bradfield will go back and see if she can put the Queenslanders in front for the first time. Well, actually, for the first time today. No problem. Pops it over the goal umpire's head. So it's 2-1-13. Queensland 2 straight 12 to the Central Allies. Only played a couple of minutes of this second term here at Bond University.
Jeez, it was running into a brick wall there for Miskin-Ripia. Right idea, but just had nowhere to go, ran out of room. Queensland are just desperate. They're hungry. They're searching for the footy.
As I say, there's 9 Bond Uni players in this team for Queensland here today. They've got a lot of people around here supporting them, so it'll be very interesting to see if that motivates them.
Back in the middle. The Central Allies squeeze it out to Usher, immediately caught and dispossessed. Great attack on the footy. Tackle coming that time from Levi in the middle for Queensland. We get the ball up again. One down on that occasion from Hickey. Ball just being paddled around. Tab was able to get a handball out. Kicking it around her body was Ward after getting the call at the last minute that she was travelling in the wrong direction. Daisy Darcy laying on the tackle. Geez, they're all over them, Queensland.
At the moment, they just seem to have, they might have got a little bit of a word at quarter time, but they seem heavily motivated. The ball's still in the middle. Hampson showing a lot of balance. She's been brilliant in both Queensland games this week, although they were losses. Smith now kicks it inside 50. What a mark. Farquharson took a beautiful grab in front of Miskin-Ripia, the two head-geared ladies, and she's going to have a crack at it. Zimmy Farquharson, she kicked a goal against Vic Country, plays her footy with the Yeronga club in Brisbane, and she can extend the lead here for Queensland and get them off to a perfect start in the second quarter. Zimmy Farquharson comes in. She's sprayed a little bit to the right. One behind result, so 2-2-14. 2 points the lead now for Queensland over Centrals.
Jeez, it was a great lead there from Farquharson, but just couldn't convert. Central Allies. Pressure now on them. Ward. Out of the defensive goal square goes long. Miskin-Ripia doing her best to try and extract the ball as Charlton laid on the tackle. Ball spilled free just as the umpire blew the whistle, and we'll get a ball up. 2 point advantage to Queensland. Winning that one down, Levi. They work it by hand across half forward to Hampson. Inside 50 with the kick. Farquharson again on the lead, coming at the back of the pack. Slightly worse angle than her previous set shot. And the breeze has just faded a little bit in the first 5 minutes of this second term. So it's slightly worse than a 45-degree angle. Woman on the mark stands about 30 metres out. Farquharson this time doesn't miss. She gets her first for the day. And Queensland move to 3-2-20, leading the Central Allies 2 straight 12.
And leading the stats charge is Ellie Hampson. 13 disposals. The next best has got 4 on the field. She's absolutely dominating at the moment. 18 plus Queensland in the disposals, but they've had 13 inside 50s to 5, winning the clearances 10-2 at the moment, Queensland. So they're dominating in that regard, but Central Allies have just taken their chances when they've had them, which is why it's so close on the scoreboard. Let's see what happens in the middle here. McKinnon, great ruck work. Once again, Hampson underneath. If you're a Gold Coast Suns fan waiting for the AFLW season to start, she's pre-signed to the Gold Coast, and she is a dead set gun. Absolutely, Ellie Hampson. She is a genius. Hard at the ball too. There she goes again. She's going to extract this ball. She's got another brilliant player on her hammer in McKinnon. The ruck ends up knocking it over as Hampson's still on the ground for Queensland. It gets kicked inside forward 50. Now Miskin Rippy under a lot of pressure. She did well, got tackled off the ball, missed it with the foot. It's going to come back in though. It's hacked forward there by Levi to the pocket. Farquharson looking dangerous as she attacks the ball off hands, and it's going to go in for a throw in the left forward pocket as we see Hampson getting back up, just feeling a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, copped a knock in her rib region by the looks of things, so she's back on her feet, maybe a little winded. As you said, Farquharson looking incredibly dangerous inside 50. It's the best conditions that we've had all week, and Queensland are thriving in them at the moment. Ball is deep inside their forward 50. There's no quarter being given, and the umpire finally decides to blow the whistle, and we'll get a ball up. Top of the goal square for Queensland. McKinnon, big leap to burst it into space. Farquharson, though, lurking, whacks it on the boot. High ball, offline. Minor scored. She's dangerous.
She's looking dangerous, isn't she? Centrals really have got that pressure happening every time the ball goes inside attacking 50 for Queensland. That's a beautiful kick. It ends up in the hands of Healy. Now Healy, nobody manning the mark, so she moves on, chips it forward on the left foot, finds a teammate. Well done in Lee. Kennelly on the right shoe. That's an aggressive kick. Gives Smith a chance. It came off hands. Well picked up there by Ballard. She puts a bit of a sky ball in there. She is again, Hampson. Oh, she's a good footballer, this girl. Good mark. As I said, she's been probably Queensland's best in both round 2 games, and she's going to top that off with probably the third.
Ma takes it. Miskin Ripier in a bit of trouble. Still able to hold things up. Ball spills free in the hands of Queensland. Dawes. Oh, spotted Postlethwaite beautifully. Just unable to bring it in. He's got 3 on her hammer now, but did well. We'll get it back here. Postlethwaite was stolen out of her hands by Charlton. They work it well to the Central Allies along this broadcast side. Smith did well. Hartaluni takes the mark. Attacking side of the broadcast wing. High ball through several sets of hands. Waiting at the back, taking the mark there. Hayley Moore flicks it dangerously to Gregory. Williams paddles it in front of herself. Gregory goes back, loses her feet. Williams trying to extract it again. She lays on the clamp. Awang emerged with it, then lost control of it. Umpire said play on. Opens the door now for Munyard. High ball in the pocket. Hampson getting back. Takes the mark. Last line of defence stuff there from the Queenslander.
So, Ellie Hampson. Long kick towards half-back. Ballard for Allies. Picks it up around the ankles. Did beautifully. Handball back to Ma. She's under a bit of pressure. They've turned it over now. Comes back to Queensland. Good tackling effort, though. It was Levi who was tackled. It was the tackler there. Well done by Smith, and she actually chipped it inboard. Just stagnant a bit there. Morris has got it. She's got a lead at half forward. She gives it back out there to Newman. Newman, it's a 2-on-1. They should win this, Centrals, and they've done it very, very well. It's going to get hooked back towards the top of the square pack of players. And, in front, Williams could have been adjudged having that mark. It snapped. Who was that in the traffic?
Kiana Lee, I think it was.
Just out of nowhere, she's picked it up and just hooked it over a melon and kicked a goal. Ripping stuff. So back within 3 points. The Central Allies 3 straight 18 to 3-21. Who did they award that one to in the end?
They're still waiting for it to come through on the screen. I'll keep an eye on it, but I'm pretty sure it was Lee that got the goal, and yes, it has been awarded.
Kiana Lee. Good work there.
And the Central Allies, as you said, they haven't had much of the footy when you look at the statistics, but they're more efficient and capitalising when they've got possession of the ball.
So 7 inside 50s for 3 straight goals. I mean, that is, that's actually right up there with the AFL average.
It's great work. Now the pressure back on Queensland as the Central Allies have found a bit of form. Tab goes to centre half forward. They're clunking everything at the moment. Healy now runs inside 50. Gets boots a ball. A Wang waiting back there. Hartalooni did her best spoiling attempt. Queensland under pressure. Top of the goal square. Ball coughed up. Spills free. Tracking it. Smith. She got caught. Dispossessed. Hartalooni in there as well. We'll get the ball up. Wang laying on the tackle. Desperate stuff inside. Attacking 50 for the Central Allies. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Second term. Wang gets caught, dispossessed. There'll be a free kick going the way of the Central Allies. Tia Charlton to take it. 45-degree angle, 40 metres out. Make that 35 metres out from goal.
Well, she is a goal scorer. She did score one against WA in that game. She was very, very good. Bottom major as well.
Here she comes. Right foot kick on its way. Falls in the goal square. There's a mark the way of the Central Allies. Taking it there is Mattia Breed, who already has a goal on the board. This to put them back in front. Central Allies, 4 straight 24 lead. Queensland 3-3-21. We've got a ripping game on our hands.
Look, this is a tale of 2 different sides at the moment. The hit-outs are 12 apiece, right? Queensland are winning the clearances 12-4, and that's mainly through Hampson, who's got 5 of them. 14-8 in the inside 50s. Queensland dominating those, but Allies, 8 inside 50s, 4 straight goals, 50% inside 50 disposal efficiency. That is way above AFL average. So they're doing a beautiful job. Queensland have had lots more possession, just need to take their time and hit up those targets inside 50. They've put it to a couple of, I suppose, the worst options, let's put it that way, as Wap Farah comes through. They'd love to see her with the ball in hand a lot more, Queensland. She kicks it to half forward. There's a race going on here. Beautifully handled by the Central Allies girl in Clark. Now she gets the ball out. It's Asha. Asha handball over the top to Munyard. She hooks it back in. That's Wap Farah for Queensland, though. Said before they'd love the ball in her hands a hell of a lot more. She kicks it towards a 3-on-1. At the back of the pack, it's picked up for Allies and then tackled by Farquhar, and that's holding the ball. A 3-on-1, and she went the wrong way, did the player in Ma. So Farquharson now, she's got an opportunity here to put it into a dangerous place. Tries to measure a pass. Miskin Rippier just had her name written all over that. Took it beautifully.
Kicks long. Tab, front spot. Unable to claim it. Ball in dispute. Half forward for Queensland. They've got numbers around the footy, but they just get shoved off by Charlton. Gets boots a ball. The kick inboard didn't hit the target. Queensland, oh, they're caught. Stretched there was Martin. The free kick will go the way of Emma Smith. Comes wide with the kick. Lee just got away from her. Postlethwaite late on the tackle. Now Wat Farah. She's caught by Tab. Postlethwaite goes back in after it. Sends the handball to Heslop. Will come back to Postlethwaite up against the boundary line. She kicks it down the line. Bobbles off the chest there of Emily Zanka Close. Over the line and out of play. Smack bang on centre wing broadcast side as we hit half time here at Bond University. The Central Allies, after being pressured early in that second term, found a way back into the game and lead at half time by 3 points. 4 straight 24, Queensland 3-3-21.
And I would have to say that they've done beautifully, the Central Allies. As we've indicated there, they lead by 3 points after they led by 5 at quarter time. Queensland are dominating the clearances 13-4 and smashing them in the inside 50, 16-8. And in the disposal count, Queensland 14 plus. But on the scoreboard, where it counts, Central Allies, well, they've done the job. 4 straight goals, no mucking around with these girls. It's a cracking first half. I'm really looking forward to the second half, and we'll be back very shortly with that. This is the NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships from Bond University. Welcome back to Bond University for the final day of the NAB AFLW U18 Championships. This is the final game, and the first half was a ripper too. Central Allies against Queensland, and the Allies 3 points up at half-time. 4 straight goals, 24, and Queensland 3-3-21. That's after the Allies led by 5 points at quarter-time. Michael Price is my name, calling the action with Matthew Cox, and we are joined in the commentary by Astra O'Connor, who was the coach of the victorious Vic Country side, who just played a ripper of a game against WA, and also the head coach of the NAB AFLW Academy. Astra, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
Now, this game, Queensland dominated in the clearances and 16-8 in the inside 50s, but the Central Allies just getting it done, more efficient.
Yeah, they look really well set up behind the ball too, Central Allies. Some great defenders doing their jobs, so see how we go in the second half.
Third quarter underway here at Bond University. McKinnon wins the tap down. Daisy Darcy gets bumped off the footy. Williams is prominent in the opening term for the Central Allies. A high ball. Bounces is taken by Zanka Close. Pops it towards half forward. Taken on the half volley by Bradfield. Got caught. Dispossessed, holding the footy. Free kick to go the way of the Central Allies. Usher, who was brilliant on Wednesday at Southport. Pops it down the line. Freeman. Hurry kick on the boot. Going nowhere, though. Queensland take the intercept through Dawes.
Yeah, Bella Dawes chips it forward and finds Postlethwaite on the outer side.
Guys, I reckon there'll be 2 names we'll call well into the future.
Dawes and Postlethwaite.
Yeah. Really good understanding of each other's game as well, the way they play together.
They've done well so far. Oh, that's a dangerous kick for Central Allies. It was aggressive. It could be a turnover. It comes to Zanka Close. Sorry, that's... it is Zanka Close who picked it up for the Maroons. Now it's into Speed on the outer side. It's coming to Tani White. Kicks it inside 50. Off hands now. Central Allies have got the ascendancy. Good bit of pace shown by Ballard there to get rid of the ball. Now they're coming out wide. This is going off for Hart Aluni. Gives the handball off now to Munyard. Oh, well done by Wapfara, who actually just pressured her out of that, and it goes over the boundary line. Astra, I've got to ask you about that Vic Country versus WA game. That was outstanding, really contested footy. You must have been relieved at the end, though.
Yeah, stressful towards the end, I'm sure, for both teams. But the spirit in which their game was played was really impressive from both WA and Vic Country. Being the last day of the carnival, the second half, I was very impressed with the way our girls went about it.
The WA came home with a wet sail, but Vic Country really held on.
As kicking forward for Queensland is Watson. Farquharson just unable to take it. She's been lurking inside 50 for Queensland. Caught here is Ella. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
Watson looks to be a little bit higher up the ground. Has she been playing a few mid-minutes at the moment, or...?
I've seen her just on the fringes, Serene Watson.
Good player, really important for their setup.
McKinnon on the tap down. Williams coming through for the Central Allies, dispossessed. Ball just bobbling around. Tarleton caught. Didn't have the footy. Free kick to go the way of Queensland.
Now, as a coach, this is a really interesting situation. She'd be right on her distance here. You'd love her to go back, settle herself down, and look for someone coming out of the goal square and just hit up. Look at that leading lane there that Central Allies have given them. We need another lead out of the goal square from Queensland.
Just a little too stagnant.
Because the last thing you want as a coach is this touched on the line.
Especially with Montana McKinnon back there. She comes in. It just falls short and rushes through for a minor score.
This is why Astra O'Connor is the head of the AFLW NAB Academy. Look, and she had a target in the pocket there, basically. Tani White standing there all by herself as well.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity to educate and learn for the young players when they do find themselves up at senior footy level, just understanding the range and their distance on their set goal kicking.
Now, Tab, she's a very strong player. Down the line, Wapfara at the front. Well done, Hartaluni, who just brought the ball to ground and hacked it forward. Queensland under a lot of pressure here. The ball's with Breed, who's kicked a couple of goals. Just overruns it on that occasion. Being held up there by the Queenslanders. It could be actually pinged here for diving on the ball. No.
Defenders.
And coming up there, just doing well, was Taylor Smith.
Queensland mids working really hard to get back involved here. You see Hampson and Postlethwaite just off the back of this stoppage. Can they get used by hand?
Ball's all locked up. Not going anywhere. Umpire blows the whistle and will reset. Just over 4 minutes gone, third term. 2-point advantage to the Central Allies. Comes to ground, navigating through there was Breed. Wap Farah, she's caught. Daisy Darcy, similar result. Taken into the turf. And the umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
Now, if I was Heidi Thompson coaching Central Allies, I'd be really happy with my look behind the ball here. Got them well covered. Queensland forwards just need to be aware that if it's a quick kick out, they've got to get up and make a contest.
So the ball's, well, it doesn't look like there's a quick kick out coming. Hartaluni gets a handball. Queensland under enormous pressure. Postlethwaite overruns it, picked up there by Dawes. She's tackled into the ground. Umpire says the tackle must have just slipped a little low below the knees. So Bella Dawes goes across the face of goal.
That's a great kick. Opens up this whole side of the ground. Really attacking play by Queensland.
Taylor Smith gets a handball over Hampson to Postlethwaite. Dances around Freeman. Back to Smith. That's a lot better ball movement from the Queenslanders. Down the line, the last kick looking for Zanka close, but last touch and the ball goes over the boundary line, but it's going to be a throw in on the outer side just in front of the flag. You see it's now drooped. You see the breeze has been going left and right today, so we don't know which way it's going at the moment, Asta.
Typical Queensland weather, you can never pick it.
Just swirly. Beautiful one day, swirly the next.
Coming from the Victorian too. Ball to be thrown in. As it's just got a fingertip to it there, Bella Smith for the Central Allies. Queensland get it to Postlethwaite, comes inboard with the handball to Levi, who moves it forward. Zanka Close was unable to take it cleanly, but had great support there in Levi, who kept going. High ball inside 50, dangerous now, Farquharson. Can she gather it? No, she can't. She keeps it in play, still going. Farquharson at the top of the goal square. Was unable to get a kick away. Queensland still have possession of the footy. Watson caught, dispossessed. Central Allies will get pinged for a throw, and a free kick will go the way of Queensland. And it will be the way of Bradfield.
So Anise Bradfield, an academy member, great young woman, really determined. She's had a bit of an interrupted pre-season with a couple of injuries, but I'll back her in from here. She's got a beautiful set shot.
Already has one goal on the board in the match today. 8 minutes remaining in the third term. She comes in, always pushed that well right.
That's called the commentator's moz, isn't it?
Yeah, welcome to it.
Bouncing ball, still inside 50 for Queensland. Postlethwaite at centre half forward. Dangerous crick, Freeman. Having to lay the tackle on Daisy Darcy. Umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
It happens to the best of us. You can stand me on the mark for most of the stuff. Calling as well. Slap down there. Central Allies had the ascendancy, but it's now picked up by Tani White for Queensland. She's tackled, gives it to Hampson, who brushes off a tackler on the left foot. Tries to deliver a pass. It's cut off there by the Allies' defence. Farquharson went in there for Queensland. Now it spills out there to Ella. She lets loose the ball. Farquharson now picks it up. Little bit of a don't argue. Gets the ball over there to Zanka Close. She's under pressure. Lets loose the ball and did it illegally, so it was well tackled. The Central Allies defence, they've been under enormous pressure in this quarter, but Newman comes out now. Kick to a 2-on-1. At the back, nicely done. It's good stuff from Healy. Handballed it forward. It could have been a push in the back. Nothing happening. Umpire says it was a good tackle.
I must say, guys, the umpires have been fantastic this whole week.
We were just commenting on that. They're rewarding good tackles. They're letting things go just enough. It's just a very good standard.
Well done to all involved. And, have a look in the record come the end of the third quarter, because I do feel that umpires have come from across Australia to be here today. I've recognised some from Victoria that are up here.
So as much as it's a development opportunity for the players, it's the same for our umpiring fraternity. So a really good opportunity for them to come up to the Gold Coast and umpire our next AFLW players.
Charlton tracking it, lost it. Tackles being laid on left, right and centre. Munyard pushed off the footy, then goes back, tackles Daisy Darcy to the turf. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
One thing about Munyard, she'll never die wondering. She works hard, she's in there, she's ferocious. Fantastic young player.
So we played about 8 minutes 45 of the third quarter. Only the 1 point scored for Queensland. Central Allies would be enjoying this as they hold out the Maroons. It's cut off beautifully by Miskin Ripia, who does read the ball really well in defence.
Yeah, she really stood out in round one to us, and we're over there watching in Adelaide. She's really fantastic behind the ball.
From the Nightcliff Tigers Club in the NT. Now there's been a whistle on play. It will be a free kick. It's going to go to Central Allies in an attacking position. Wap Farah standing the mark.
So this is it as a player. Halfway through the third quarter of a really long week, you've got to dig in, dig deep, and just keep those legs ticking over.
Smith kicks it inside 50, off hands at the front. It was kicked high in the air by Breed, who's already got a couple of goals. Taken down there by Williams. Did she play on? Yeah, she did. Don't matter. Oh, she went through and banged it through. That was well done. She's, you know what? She's got X factor, that girl. She's from the Darwin Buffaloes in the NT, and sometimes she can look like her mind's moving quicker, or her feet's moving quicker than her mind, or something like that. But boy, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, fantastic play. And on a really recognised defender in Charlotte Hammond, so a great one-on-one to the forward there.
Brilliant goal.
Not sure if you guys have mentioned previously in the call, but Zanka Close is the cousin of Eden Zanka, so from the Melbourne Footy Club.
There you go. Should have actually put that together. Zanka's not exactly it's not exactly Smith we're talking about here.
Overly common, is it? No.
But there's plenty of that going on with this competition as well. Got some great father-daughters as well throughout.
Yeah, and we've got a few young players with their brothers playing the under-16s competition this weekend as well. Millie Brown from Big Country, Sophie Molan as well. Lucy McAvoy's got a couple of cousins up here.
Save a few dollars for the family as well, both coming up at the same time.
Good way to spend the school holidays. Tab takes the mark, defensive side of the broadcast wing. This game just going a similar way as to what it did in the first and second terms, where Queensland had a majority of the ball, but the Central Allies making them pay on the scoreboard.
Well, we got 21 inside 50s to 10, and the Allies have kicked 5 goals out of their 10. That's a 50% efficiency rate just going inside 50. That's extraordinary.
Yeah, with Queensland's forwards, they just tend to clump up a little bit. They all get a bit too close to one another. Even here, if you look behind the play, they're all very close, which makes it easier for Central Allies to defend that.
The win possession here, Queensland. High ball towards centre half forward.
Great contest.
A couple of casualties back on their feet. Miskin Ripia just gets boot to ball. Zanka Close gives the quick handball off. Miskin Ripia goes back in. And the umpire awards her a free kick, a throw there coming from Bradfield. Long ball towards the outer side. Hine out there. Under pressure from Awang. She keeps going. Does Hine. Dispossessed. Charlton picks the footy up. Sends it inside 50 here for the Central Allies. Just over the head of Williams. Ball bobbling around. Wap Farah. Back pocket. Just wants to get it out of there. Up and under kick. To ground. Munyard fighting for it. Ball squeezed out. Players can see the fatigue just starting to creep into the game. Been a long week. It was heavy conditions at Southport on Wednesday. Drizzly conditions on Monday at Metricon. This has been by far the best in terms of conditions that we've had all week up here on the Gold Coast.
You've got to love how Katara Farah goes about her footy. Starts attacking side as a defender, really takes the game on. She'd be a pleasure to coach, I'm sure.
She beelines the ball, doesn't she? She just makes a straight line for it. As Queensland are desperately trying to put it forward. Hampson, who's been their best player, well, today, Wednesday and Monday, I would have suggested. Ball stuck underneath her. And we'll have a ball up.
So you see here, if you look behind the play, Queensland are in a straight line. You'd love just a bit of length, a bit of width on this look for them. It's just too easy for Central Allies to defend.
So once again, got a stalemate there. That was a great hard tackle from Healy on Dawes. And we'll have another ball up in the central part of the ground.
Another fun fact, guys, Sam Virgo from the Gold Coast Suns, AFLW player, and Robbie Neal, the Central Allies runner, former St Kilda and Sydney Swans AFL player.
Oh, there you go.
Just wheeling out all the facts here.
What's about Sam Virgo's obviously, the knee's obviously going well.
Yes, looks like she's moving well.
Good sign.
Oh, tackle.
And brought down there, Hine.
So Tani White, that's a fantastic tackle, a young player coming off an ACL. To be able to work her way through this carnival and impress us all, how she's gone about it, just improved every game, doing her bit for the group.
She gave the handball off to Heslop, who almost got it back there from Arwang, who had to keep going in the end. Now Hampson's under all sorts of pressure. Umpire says there's a free kick going the way of Queensland with around 30 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, I think Farquharson was just taken off the ball there. No, sorry, Arwang it was, sorry. Kicks it out to the outer side. 2-on-1 McKinnon, the ruck, ends up getting it back to Miskin Ripia, who's really done very well today. Kick inside 50. Back of the pack, Heslop for Queensland. Spoils. She ends up with the ball in hand. She's tackled by Hartaluni, and it goes to ground, and we're going to get a ball up as the countdown to three-quarter time happens. Central Allies leading by 8 points. 30 plays 22 as the siren goes. And just having a quick look at the stats there, 21 inside 50s to 12. In favour of Queensland, yet they're trailing by 8 points. Of course, Central Allies much more efficient, 5 straight to 3-4. The only other stat I suppose we'll have a look at, hit-outs are basically the same. Clearances 21 to 8, still in favour of Queensland. The overall disposals, Queensland are plus 12. Tackling stats are more or less the same. Free kicks are the same. But it's that's a big disparity when it comes to clearances and inside 50, not taking their chances.
I mean, and stats don't always tell the story, but I think in this case you can sort of say that if Queensland, I mean, the game's in the balance. They just need to tidy up a couple of things around the footy, and with their forwards, just get a bit more shape in front of the ball, and it could be anyone's, I think, in this last quarter. What a great way to finish the carnival.
Yeah, it's a ripping finish. Are you going to stay around, or do we lose you here, Asta?
Oh, I better head off with the Vic Country girls.
Yeah,
but thanks so much for having me.
No, thank you so much for stepping in. That's Asta O'Connor, who is the coach of the Victoria's Vic Country side and also the head coach of the NAB AFLW Academy. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll be back with the final quarter on the final day of the NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships next. Welcome back to Bond University for the final quarter of the final game of round 2 of the NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships. At three-quarter time, the Central Allies over Queensland, 5 straight 30 to 3-4-22. It's an 8-point margin after they led by 3 points at halftime and they led by 5 points at quarter time. It's Michael Price and Matthew Cox calling all of your action. Queensland have dominated the inside 50s and the clearances, more disposals, but Central's just a little bit too clean. Here's Matthew Cox.
Queensland dominating everywhere apart from the scoreboard. Central Allies get first use of it. Tab coming out of the middle, bouncing ball centre wing. Going to be taken here by Munyard. No, it's not. She just had to paddle it in front of herself. Had support in high and up against the boundary line. Munyard's rolled into the turf by Dawes. Still a little bit of a niggle between the two sides. Just right underneath our broadcast position.
You can see it in the looks on their faces. It means something here. This is the last day and last quarter of the championships. They both want to make a mark here. The ball spills out in favour of Centrals there. Now Queensland with a chance. Oh, no, back for Centrals. It's with Breed. She kicks it inside 50. It bounces awkwardly for all comers. Queensland defence, well, it was taking it through. Was actually knocked out of her hands. Was Hayley Moore, and it's a free kick, and it's going to go there to Centrals. It's a high tackle. Didn't happen against Charlton. Wap Farah cuts it off, looking for Gregory. Kicks it over the head of her. Now McKinnon, the ruck, gives it over to Tab. Tab brushes one off. It's a high kick. It's going to fall. Well, it basically fell between a whole bunch of players. Wap Farah did well, got the handball away, and now it's with Hammonds, and she gets rid of it to half back.
Looking for a Wang on the outer side, takes it, tried to get it to Hampson. Wang kept going, emerges with a footy, puts it to the outer side, and the mark will be taken here by Smith. Smack bang on centre wing. Goes up, hits up Smith. Spins the Sherrin in her hands, given the hurry up. Goes long, Farquharson coming from behind. Ball to ground, plenty of Central Allies jumpers there, but they run out of room to do anything with it. Amber Ward seeing it over the line.
I know she's dangerous, Farquharson, but there's a 3-on-1 there, so she's got to be super to pull that one off. Central Allies defence really stacking up well when the ball comes inside 50 for Queensland. They dominated the inside 50s, but the Allies have basically repelled most of what's come in. McKinnon at the back, taps it down. Oh, it's a handball. Cut off there by Usher. Usher tackled down. Could have been pinged. Nothing happening. Now it's hacked out of there by Centrals. Big fly from Williams. Does well to tap it down. Follows it up. Toes it off the deck. That's just good footy out of defence. Uses her speed to the outer wing. Keeps the ball alive and keeps it forward. Queensland picked up the ball through Moore. She's tackled and lets loose the ball. Well done by Centrals to just keep that ball moving forward. Arwang now gives it back to Watson, who looks for a target in the middle of the ground and finds Postlethwaite. Now they're open, Queensland.
They do. They've got Gregory here. She takes it. She's going to try and get around Tab. That's risky, but pays off. Oh. Gets it to McKinnon, who
could have got clobbered there too, just quietly.
After she took the mark. A floating kick wide. Bounced awkwardly for her teammate. Dawes collects it, coughs it up. Caught his Ward. Ball to ground. We get a stoppage on half forward. 5 straight 30, the Central Allies leading Queensland 3-4-22. 3.5 minutes gone, final term. Queensland with possession of the footy. They get it to Levi. She wheels around quickly on the right, boots, but it's wide, minor score. 3-5, 23 plays 5 straight 30 with just over 11 minutes left on the clock in the final term.
So Central Allies to bring the ball back in. Coming out with it is Ward. Long kick to the pack. Brought to the ground there by O'Grady for Queensland. Putting herself in was Miskin Ripier for the Central Allies. Had a very, very good game in defence. And they just hold the Queenslanders up again. Allies by 7 points. Ball up. Hickey gets up high for Queensland. Slaps it down. But Ballard through traffic did well with the left foot. Over the back of the pack. Williams. Can she control it? She does. Semi breaks a tackle. Handballed it to herself. It's a great little trick she does. Kicks it inside 50. And good juggling mark there, taken by Lee. Lee's got a player on in the pocket. It's Hartaluni. She brings it down. Taps it now over to the advantage of It was to the advantage of Charlton. Now Wap Farah. She's a strong player, the girl. Don't worry about that. Queensland extract the ball, but it's going to come straight back in. Marks taken there by Alicia Healy.
As Astro O'Connor remarked in that third quarter, the Central Allies are structuring up really well to lock the ball in their attacking half of the ground. Healy, high ball, inside 50 off hands. McKinnon's caught by Hampson. Didn't have the footy. Free kick going the way of Montana McKinnon.
Now, she could break the game open, this girl. Her and Hickey have had a magnificent battle so far. They've both had around about 15 hit-outs.
She's popped it short. Might have been the wrong decision there as Wap Farah emerges with the footy for Queensland, puts it towards the centre wing on the outer side. Postlethwaite collects, goes towards half forward. Mark not completed there by Ella. Hovering, Heslop got caught, dispossessed. Central Allies get it to Munyard. Had no support, so it's going to come straight back in through Levi. Bouncing ball, Miskin Rippier. Skits boots a ball just outside 50, taken here by Hickey. High ball, bouncing ball. Smith caught, tries to get it to Postlethwaite. Got there, got tackled. Tab. Brilliant, out of half back. High ball into the middle. Pick 3. Charlton did.
They did beautifully there, Central Allies. What great defence. They looked all gone for all money, but that's a good defensive mark too, taken for Queensland by Serene Watson. Love the way they've come out of defence, the Central Allies. Watson goes for the long kick, but it's beautifully read by Taylor Hartaluni from the Darwin Buffs. She kicks it. Inside there, 50, McKinnon. Just got a nudge there. So the big ruck, Montana McKinnon, who's really come out to play in this final term.
And she's copped a few knocks as well.
She does put herself in. And that's a better kick to the top of the square. Dangerous spot. Wap Farah at the back, spoiling effort, and then tried to follow it up. Well battled there. The Central Allies player who's getting absolutely buried there by Hayley Moore. Couldn't quite see who it was. She gets up with the ball, Charlton. Very good against WA with a goal as well. She's been good again today.
Ball deep inside attacking 50 for the Central Allies. Wap Farah couldn't get it. Taken there is Moore. We'll get a ball up.
Once again, Charlton with the tackle. The tackling stats in favour of the Central Allies, 53-50. Queensland still leading the inside 50s, 26-19.
7 points. Just over 7 minutes left on the clock. Wap Farah gets it to Hampson. A couple of the Gold Coast Suns recruits linking up there. White. High ball to the broadcast side. Heslop's got it all to do, and she's done well. Gets it to Gregory, who's caught by Usher. Williams applying pressure too. The umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
The style of tackling too. I think that's what's doing it. The Central Allies girls are putting a little bit of extra mayonnaise on each, or an extra mustard on each tackle, really giving it to them as the ball spills now. Dawes propels it back into the corridor for Daisy Darcy. Gets it back to Hampson, back to Dawes. She's under a fair bit of pressure too. It's going to bounce towards Levi. She's got the ball, breaks the tackle. Now kicks it inside 50 over the back. Taylor Smith. That was better ball movement from the Queenslanders, and the forwards got some separation. They moved away from each other so they can get back within a point here.
That was probably their best passage of play in this match.
Oh, absolutely. One of the better passages of play in the championship so far for Queensland. So, Taylor Smith. She did have a goal against Vic Country. Once again, this is her home deck. Bond University. She'd know the conditions. Aim for the big orange crane between the two big sticks. Leans back on it a bit, but pops it through and puts the Queenslanders back within a point. Central Allies 5 straight 30 and Queensland 4-5-29. Game on here for the final game.
1 point ball game. And we have 5.5 minutes remaining.
Just quickly looking at the stats. Hampson's now up to 21 for Queensland with 5 clearances. the familiar names indoors with 15, Wapfarah with 13, Postlethwaite with 12. Moving up to the top of the charts, Charlton for Central Allies, Breed with 11, and Tab and Newman both with 10.
Tired legs. Been a big week up here on the Gold Coast for the 2019 NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships. Ball one down by Tarleton. Tab tracking it. She's still going. What a machine. Now Munyard. Same could be said for her. Ball bouncing at half forward. Munyard followed up her own kick. Will put it inside 50 for the Central Allies. Mark taken at the back by Zanka Close, who's been moved inside defensive 50 in this term.
Oh,
real risky kick. Gregory got it all to do. Freeman bounced away from her. She'll get there first. Didn't gather it the way she would have liked. Now Queensland have numbers for support. Trapped ball in. Hine doing well to lock things up. We get a ball up just outside attacking 50 for the Central Allies.
What a great little contest between Freeman and Gregory right there. That sort of captured the whole game in one little spurt. There's Charlton, who's a great tackler and can put a fend on too. Kicks it long. Oh, Wapfarah. That's a really good mark, defensive mark in the middle of a pack. She wants to play on, gives the handball back now. And that was with Watson. Long kick, and that was a good lead. Daisy Darcy picked her out as well. So they've got outside defensive 50. Down the wing, another good lead. The kick bounces in front of her, though. It's Levi. She tries to use that pace of hers and a long kick as well. Bounces towards the boundary line. And it's going to be a free kick. It'll go to the Central Allies. In front of the scoreboard, the Allies still leading by a point with 3:45 to go.
Usher spins the Sherrin in her hands. Goes in the Miskin-Rippier direction. Out of her hands, Charlton. To Munyard. Gives the handball off, running past there with Smith. High ball to the top of the 50-metre arc. Hurried forward from Bella Smith inside 50. Taken here by Hartaluni. Gives the handball off. Freeman will send it deep inside 50. Williams didn't take it. Keeps going, does Williams. Finds space. Kick smothered. Freeman on the outside. Bouncing ball. Deep inside 50, Tab unable to claim it, and she'll apply one of those famous tackles that she has all week here on the Gold Coast. She's become renowned for that. We get a ball up deep inside their attacking 50.
Oh, it's thrown up there. Both sets are ruck. Oh, and that's just hacked out of there. 4 Central Allies, the 2 14s exchanging kicks.
Uh-oh.
And that's a dangerous one for Serene Watson. It's gone out of bounds on the full. So Madison Freeman has it. Chips a pass. Good lead. Good pass. And that's marked by Emma Smith. And she could take a bit of time off the clock here as well. Plays on. Well done by Gregory, who just enforced herself on that contest. Picked it up but handballed it basically into congestion. She goes back and offers. Oh, Tab brings her down. The ball spills. Smith, top of the square. Wapfarah for Queensland. She saves the day as well. They've got to get a wriggle on the Maroons.
2 minutes left on the clock. Wapfarah goes back to Hampson, tries to switch play to the outer side. Dawes takes the mark in the back pocket. Goes towards Postlethwaite, bounces awkwardly for her. Has Hartaluni on her hammer, but Postlethwaite did well. Goes towards the centre wing. Ball off hands. Miskin-Rippier getting there first under pressure. Flick the handball backwards. It's dangerous and errant. Queensland get caught high, and a free kick will go the way of Hammonds. Just outside attacking 50 for the Maroons. They go long. Bouncing ball, Farquharson takes it on the half volley, runs away from traffic. Whacked boot to ball, but it went higher in the air than what it did going forward. Comes to ground. Central Allies happy to lock things up. And that's the result they get with a minute left on the clock. A 1-point advantage their way.
So they have certainly evened up the inside 50s. 28-23 now as Central Allies try to extract this ball from the congestion. Queensland, they offer it first. It's Levi gets it back to Daisy Darcy, who threw the ball. That was a great tackle. That really was a great tackle. It could have been a game-saving tackle. And it's going to be a free kick to the Central Allies. Well done there.
Got a feeling it's Charlton.
Yeah, but it's Charlton, and she's displayed all day that she can tackle that girl. Kicks long in the middle of the pack. Attacking the ball there, Kiana Lee. She did it in the air and at ground level, so they're soaking it up. There's 24 seconds left of the NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships left to go. Central Allies leading by a point. Hickey gets it down now. Dawes from 45 has a go at it. Farquharson, has she juggled it? No. Great defence from the Central Allies holding the ball up with only 5 seconds to go. It ticks down on the scoreboard. This is a victory for the Central Allies. Defeating the Queenslanders on their home deck. Well, 9 out of the players for Queensland, Bond University players. They're dejected. You can see it to our right, the Queensland bench, but the Central Allies girls are absolutely over the moon, and so they should be. Famous victory, and what a ripping finish, Matthew Cox. The Central Allies girls had less of the footy, but when they had it, they really dealt it to Queensland.
Simple game, footy.
Yep.
Kick ball, mark ball, kick goal. Accuracy from the Central Allies. 5 straight 30. Queensland were on top in the early stages of the first, second and third quarters. Just overpossessed the footy at times. Central Allies making the most of their opportunities, and what a victory for them. 2 from 3 matches here on the Gold Coast for the Central Allies. A brilliant performance. Some standout players as well. Jamie Tabb laid some crucial tackles inside defensive 50 late in that term. Munyard prominent. Freeman prominent. Miskin Rippier did well inside defensive 50, especially in those spoiling attempts down the field. And, of course, Montana McKinnon and Tia Charlton, fantastic.
Miskin Rippier and Madison Newman were responsible for 11 rebound 50s for Central Allies. So 11 times when it did go inside 50, between the two of them, they rejected 11 times. When it came down to it, Charlton had 15 disposals for the Allies. Breed had 11, and Tab and Miska Rippier had 10. For the Queenslanders, well, it was Ellie Hampson again, 22 disposals, 5 clearances, 3 inside and 3 rebound 50s. 17 to Dawes, 15 to Wap Farah, Levi and Postlethwaite both with 13 disposals. But in the end, it was the Central Allies' efficiency which gave them that 1-point victory. And that culminates in the end of the NAB AFLW Under-18 Championships. Over this week, we've seen Vic Country and Vic Metro, probably the pick of the sides being Vic Metro, followed by